of like me at Dragon Con.
Well, I was looking back to say, what did I say on September 1st, 2007? And I said nothing. Not a thing. So that kind of ruined that.
Yeah.
But
seems like a notification you don't need.
Yeah. On September 2nd, 2007, I said, tromping around U of I, bringing back old memories. Brought back too many memories. They've surrounded us. Send help.
Oh, that's a good one.
How do you go all the way back? Do you just scroll?
Oh, I downloaded my Twitter archive.
Oh.
And then I have it on a hard drive.
See, Time Hop is much better for that.
Time Hop's easier, yeah. And then on September 3rd, I was shooting some trap.
What does that mean?
Trap shooting, like skeet shooting.
Oh.
Nope, I don't know what that is.
10
That's
years
when you
ago?
say pull and they shoot a clay pigeon in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've done that? Was that the last time
That
you
would
did
be
that?
September 3rd, 2007.
Cool.
Yeah. Because that was at my brother-in-law's place.
Trap shooting, huh? I don't think I've ever fired a gun.
Oh,
That's when Eileen got to shoot the Dirty Harry pistol.
A lot of kickback on that, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
44 Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
I've never shot a gun. Except BB gun. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay,
No.
I shot a gun.
Maybe.
I mean, not something where I have to hold it with two hands or something,
Yeah.
Something that you're not supposed to point at anything. That you
Correct.
don't
Yep. Cause major damage. Yeah. No.
Yes. Something where if you accidentally, even with your hand off the trigger, start to point it at someone, they freak out and push your hand away.
Yes. I've never done that.
Never done that. Okay.
I have only shot long guns. I've never shot a pistol.
So Sarah Lane, are you about ready?
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just kind of like making sure I've got all the stuff that I need.
No
Are you patiently waiting for me to be ready?
It's 1:30. We're ready to go.
Okay.
Sarah Land is ready to open.
Sure am.
Len, how do you feel about your art today?
I think it's pretty good. Hopefully, I will see how it goes.
You sound like an athlete. Well, I'm gonna give it 110%.
I'm gonna give it 110%. I'm really happy for the guys that have made this.
We've all pulled together on this, and
I have a lot of memories here.
Leave it all out on the art.
I don't know. I think it'll be funny. I think it's funny, but everybody else will be like, "That's whatever, dude."
Yeah.
The main story, right, about Apple should.
Yeah.
I don't know. It should make sense. Yeah.
Easy.
We should,
All right. Je suis content. Je suis prêt.
Hey, one of these Fridays before show, we'll watch stuff from Stairway to Stardom. Have you ever heard of Stairway to Stardom?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Jen and I watch it every other fortnight.
Yeah, we'll have to watch some of those.
And Hat Friday will return.
Oh yes, Hat Friday. It's okay though, because in today's drawing, I drew the hats in, even though none of us are wearing.
Oh, yeah, see, Hat Friday will.
Yes,
will live on.
We don't have to actually wear the hats, but yeah, I can draw the hats. So.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are, Thomas.
Okay, let's do this. Here we go. In 3, 2. Daily Tech News Show is powered by you. To find out more, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. This is the Daily Tech News for Friday, September 1st, 2017. I'm Tom Merritt, along with Sarah Lane, back on the show.
Hello, Tom Merritt. My setup is slightly different than it was last time I was on the show about a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
I'm going to try to, get myself up to a more professional level, cats included, obviously.
I love the cat on cue, walking behind you. Well done, Lucy.
She is like a circus performer. You can get her to do anything.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a cool transition of making a home studio, not unlike the one Tom, that you run, and it's been challenging.
Yours
and
isn't brighter.
will continue to be. Windows drivers did that today. But
That's
it's
fun.
a fun project overall. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. You can maybe more on that to come later in the show. Len Peralta here to illustrate the show as well. How are you, Len?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. It's getting ready for the holiday weekend. So here in the U.S., so it's good.
In celebration of the holiday weekend in Sarah's new studio, no hats.
No
went
no
formal.
hats. Although
I even
there
put
may
a
be
nice
hats in
little
my
necklace on today.
No, yeah.
Tried to dress up a little bit.
Roger Chang is dressed up in a tuxedo. You can't see him. Oh no,
There
I'm
he is. You
dressed
blew
up in a red shirt. No hats because it's boiling out where I live, and I don't want to increase any.
All of his hats caught a fire.
It was terrible.
All right, we're going to talk about some news around Apple regarding their original content and why it seems that all the big tech companies are banking on original content as part of their strategies. But let's start with a few tech things you should know. Microsoft announced the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update will arrive October 17th. This includes support for mixed reality headsets, many of which also will launch October 17th.
Xiaomi confirmed on Weibo that it's going to announce the Mi Mix 2 phone at an event on September 11th, which, yes, is the day before Apple's event. They love to do that. Xiaomi's new phone is expected to have almost no bezel, and I'm just wondering, why do we all hate bezels so much all the
There's
time?
a war on bezels. Yeah.
It's like, okay, no bezels.
I'm calling it now. 5 years from now, there's going to be like a bezel nostalgia movement.
Sure. Yeah. I would remember the subtle framing of the phone.
Nokia came out with
bezels. They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah. The U.S. state of California has granted Samsung permission to test autonomous cars on public roads. Samsung doesn't plan to build their own car, but they do want to make control systems for self-driving cars.
The U.S. National Labor Relations Board filed a complaint against Tesla, claiming that Tesla violated workers' rights in its confidentiality agreement. The NLRB believes that the agreement is written, could bar workers from discussing safety issues, working conditions, stuff like that. Tesla has until September 14th to respond, with a hearing scheduled for November 14th in Oakland, California.
Yeah, so you can tell your workers not to discuss trade secrets. You can't tell them don't discuss anything, even if you get hit by an anvil. Don't.
Yeah, okay. You've got to be able to at least talk about some stuff.
Here are some more top stories. TCL marketing manager Stefan Streit told Android Planet that TCL will produce new products under the Palm brand in early 2018. Now, the devices are likely to be phones. They're likely not to run WebOS, the last Palm OS, because WebOS is owned by LG and is used on its TVs. But TCL owns the Palm name, and they can put it right alongside other phones they make for Alcatel and BlackBerry in their suite of nostalgia phone names. Streit said the Palm devices would probably be marketed at older users. Alcatel's kind of marketed at the millennials, BlackBerry for business, and then Palm for us.
But do people have nostalgia for the Palm name? That's
I do.
My question. You do. You would like something to be called Palm again.
I have nostalgia for the Palm name, as your question was originally phrased. I'm like, oh, Palm. I remember Palm. I loved my Palm. Do I want to buy a phone with Palm name on it? I don't know.
Well, then maybe they want to market to more of a millennial and post-millennial group. I don't know.
For the retro feeling of it?
For people who are just like, Palm, that's a cool name. Never heard of it.
Yeah, you can fly Pan Am and use your Palm.
Moving on to Facebook. Facebook has 2 billion users. It's a lot of users, but it's keeping tabs on billions more. In fact, the social network now knows where 7.5 billion humans live all over Earth. And that is within 15 feet of accuracy, claims Facebook anyway, which is nuts. The company says it's created a data map of the planet's entire population, at least humans, by combining census numbers from governments and then information they're pulling from satellites. The company also says it built the mapping tech itself to better understand precise distribution of humans around the planet and what types of internet services are best for them.
They're talking about space internet a lot in this CNBC story. And that's before you get too freaked out about Facebook knowing where you live. They don't know where you live yet. They haven't yet matched up their 2 billion users with these 7.5 million addresses. It's more about knowing the distribution of people on the planet so that they can put the planes in the air where the people are to deliver the internet to them. But They really are. They use the word space broadband at one point.
You're kind of Facebook has counted you as a warm body, not a zombie that might want better internet. But knowing Facebook, there's always more to this than just hoping people get online.
Yeah, I do want. They say, Facebook says that knowing where people live means that delivering internet from space will be the better way to hook up cities, especially cities that are underserved right now.
Completely makes sense from a bird's eye view. Yeah, it would. Yeah. You could, if you see a cluster of folks that are underserved, then build out some infrastructure.
Sharp announced its 70-inch Aquos 8K TV with a resolution of 7680 by 4320, which many of you I know right now in your head are insisting on calling 4320p, or maybe even like, well, that's actually 4K. But they call it 8K, so we'll just have to live with that for now. The Aquos 8K is compatible with Dolby Vision HDR and BDA HDR, which is for Blu-ray. The 8K TV will roll out later this year in China and Japan. It will arrive in Taiwan in February. And then in Europe, they're just going to basically take the same model and turn it into an 8K monitor. So it'll be a 70-inch 8K monitor for your computer called the LV70X500E. That comes to Europe in March. Sharp previously sold an 85-inch 8K monitor for more than $100,000, but this new one is expected to be a lot cheaper, somewhere under $10,000. And of course, Sharp will have to create some content for it if people want to watch anything on it, because NHK, I think, in Japan is the only place doing any kind of 8K programming.
And $100,000 is that. Well, that's a crazy number, but so it was 10,000. So.
I mean, yeah.
If you're really trying to move some merch,
I was able to
bring down the price a bit.
If I was able to add $10,000 to the DTNS Patreon, I could think of a much better way of spending it.
Oh no! Definitely get the 8K monitor. Just
no,
just to say you did.
All right, I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I mean, I did get a 4K monitor, but for a long, or 4K TV, which is really a 2K TV, I know. But for a long time, I was thinking, well, maybe I won't even get a 4K because my 1080p TV was just working fine, and there wasn't that much 4K content out. And I'm like, maybe I'll skip to 8K. But I don't know what you need it for, because when you're sitting at couch depth, you can't really tell it's 8K. So I'm still waiting for the good, compelling reasons. Here's the thing: keep your 8K hate to yourself for now. Send me reasons why I would want an 8K. It's easy to come up with reasons why I don't want to spend this money. But if you've got it, it's like, oh no, here's the compelling reason for 8K, send it to us. feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com.
Hurricane Harvey, devastating for the people and the pets of Houston. We stand with you, Houston. But there are new options that keep emerging to help out. In fact, BuzzFeed points out a couple apps you might already use for other things that have proven very helpful in Houston as of late. One is called Zello. It's an app that pretty much acts like a walkie-talkie, so it's audio back and forth. It's seen its Houston area app opens rise 600% since Harvey hit, because audio works uniquely well to convey information and emotion and urgency, things like that. Neighborhood-based social app Nextdoor, which I've used with varying results because it's kind of gossipy, but it's seen its users start posting information about rescue needs, donation lists, people with boats available to help in rescue efforts, stuff like that. Obviously, traditional 911 calls would be the way to go to an emergency, but so many people aren't able to get through. There's some nice new options.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really compelling story. The one particularly about Nextdoor, which, like you say, a lot of times is gossipy or people sniping at each other, and it shows that it's not the tool that's the problem. It's the user. Because in this case, when people need each other, all of that went away. And this one they have in the BuzzFeed story: rescue desperately needed at 6007 Worcester Court, 4 feet of water in the house and rising. Occupants headed to the roof with animals. And then the response is unloading canoe now. Like, yeah. Wow.
Exactly. I mean, we want to be working it as real time as possible. So it's really cool that this has been working for folks.
And again, we're not suggesting that you rely on these sorts of things instead of emergency services, but when emergency services are down and you're looking for other ways to get the word out, it's great.
Absolutely. And it's not that people don't have obviously really Facebook groups that have been successful in order to connect folks and get the word out. But these sort of smaller apps that don't do everything and aren't really known as like a social network for everything to emerge as a place where literally lives are being saved is awesome.
And Zello apparently integrates with land-based radio. So you can actually call someone on an actual walkie-talkie from the Zello app.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought it just emulated the idea of a walkie-talkie. That's very cool.
Very
I
cool.
don't know how many people have walkie-talkies these days, but there you go.
Well, a lot of times rescue organizations will have them because that they help rely on them. But yeah, so it's a great. You're right. It's a great example of like, I don't know how useful this is in normal everyday life, but then suddenly in this situation, it becomes incredibly useful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is great, Sarah?
What?
Smiles.
Oh, I love a good smile.
Yeah, that Hall & Oates song.
That doesn't have an H on it, so let's not talk about that song.
I'm sorry, I forgot about that. But you can pay with your smile now. Diners at KPRO, a new restaurant in Hangzhou, China, have the opportunity to pay by smile. Yum China runs KPRO and partnered with Ant Financial, wholly owned Alibaba operation. I don't know if it's wholly owned actually, but it's majority owned by Alibaba. So you register your face with Ant, hook it up to your bank account. You go up to the KPRO kiosk. It makes you smile to kind of prove that you're a real person, and then put in your phone number to also prove that you're the right person. That's to help prevent fraud. KPRO is a concept store being tested by Yum China. Yum China no longer is part of Yum Brands International, but it still runs KFC and the Yum brands in China. And it's like high concept store with roasted chicken, not fried chicken, and fresh pressed juices and gourmet coffee and all of that.
I haven't heard anything so strange since Taco Bell started serving liquor in San Francisco.
I mean, it's Demolition Man come true, right? Because Yum Brands owns Taco Bell. Right. And this is the high end. This one's a KFC, but it's a high end Yum Brands. We're getting closer to Demolition Man every day.
Yeah, I laugh, but I would totally try it if it came to my neighborhood. So,
I mean, this is kind of gimmicky, but
it's very gimmicky. But
facial recognition to pay, if you can make it secure, which is a big if. I mean, it's pretty great, right?
What if you're a grill liker? What if you like to wear a grill here and there? Now it's going to get complicated because you're going to have to, your authentic smile.
Whenever I have my grill on, I can still use Windows Hello to log into my Surface Book.
Well, then we're on to something.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a relief.
Yeah, we've discovered all kinds of things. Hey, anyway, check that out. Let us know what you think. And get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes by subscribing to dailytechheadlines.com. You can get it as a podcast. You can get it on the Amazon Echo as a flash briefing. You can get it on Google Home through the Anchor service. And of course, you can get it from Anchor directly in the Anchor app. It just gets you up to date. It is kind of the first of what I want to call DTNS labs experiments that we tried, and this one worked, and we'd like to do more like that. So check it out, dailytechheadlines.com, and that is a look at our top stories. Now, Apple Insider noticed that Apple's leadership page no longer lists Siri under Eddie Q. Instead, it's been moved to being listed under Craig Federighi's responsibilities. Federighi, Senior Vice President of Software Engineering. Q runs internet and software services. So for Siri, that could mean that Siri is now thought of more as an operating system type product rather than a service type product. But don't forget that Q also is the guy who oversees Jamie Ehrlich and Zach Van Amberg, two former Sony television execs who were recently hired by Apple and report to Q. There's that Wall Street Journal report out there kicking around as well, Sarah, that Apple plans to spend $1 billion on original content.
Right. Apple's already gotten into original content, to a small extent, but the Financial Times is also reporting while we're on the subject of original content that Apple is in discussion to lease a space in the Culver Studios. That's here in Los Angeles, which is kind of historic, really. One-time home to Gone with the Wind. They shot that there. The Andy Griffith Show, Lassie. So it's dating some of us who remember these shows, but still very cool space and very big. And Culver City also has the Sony lot. It's a bit of a company town. Previously, Deadline reported that Amazon was interested in space in the same area as well. And the Financial Times also reports Apple could be planning a drama that would star Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, who I like both of those actresses very much. I would like to watch that much more than I enjoyed Planet of the Apps.
We really that Planet of the Apps is the first generation Apple Maps of its stuff. I think the originals will get better. Already, the Carpool Karaoke one is better. Have you seen the one with Sophie Turner and Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones?
Yes, those are the sorts of like clickbait things that I have no control over myself with. You know,
precious
Game of Thrones people behind the scenes. Yeah,
and they're truly friends. You can tell in this thing. But Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, that's another level. Reese Witherspoon does HBO stuff. She does Oscar-winning movies. So Apple getting into that game made me realize, well, okay, Apple wants to make original content at that level now because they want to compel people to buy their products, whether it's tablets, phones, Apple TVs, whatever. Netflix obviously did that because they were afraid of losing too many of their deals, so they wanted to have compelling content of their own. Facebook now just rolling out its Watch tab with original content. I was watching Jessica Alba tell me great tips for nutrition. They were actually really good tips too. That was on Facebook this morning. Then you've got YouTube, Google's YouTube, making YouTube Red and doing higher level stuff now than they were before. And obviously Amazon Originals, Amazon's been doing that for a while, and the Tick is their most recent example. All of these are the big ones, right? This is Google, Amazon, Facebook. Really, Microsoft is the only one not in this game. They had the Halo Originals, but then they kind of backed off of that. Why do you think that is, that all of these huge tech companies that in one breath people are criticizing for having too much power are scrambling to become producers of original content?
It's a great question. I know that everyone, at least who works at the large companies, like to say that video is the future. You know, I know a lot of consumers who don't necessarily feel that way. I love a good drama. I think really the biggest issue that I have is, well, there are a finite number of hours in the day, and there's just only so much content that I can consume. But yeah, you could say that about podcasts too, and I get through quite a few of those. I think the more competition we have, and the more, especially high quality original content that comes out there, you know, the cream will rise to the top. Not everybody's going to be successful. Netflix has already said they'd rather spend a lot more money and try a lot more things and just kill a show if it's not doing well, and let the hits become hits. You know, the next House of Cards, that sort of thing. And it seems to me like all of the companies that are big enough to blow some money on some misses are the ones that will end up succeeding the most. Why Microsoft isn't making more of a play here, or why they're behind that, I don't know.
Yeah, and I wonder if it really is going to be a problem for them. I mean, Netflix makes the most sense to do this. Amazon, with its Amazon Prime Video sense, makes a lot of sense.
Amazon has also had some hits already, so it's like it's a model that's proving to work for them.
Yeah, and I guess what Apple thinks is we have a service. It's called iTunes. It's a store, and we also have a service that's subscription. It's called Apple Music. So maybe we can put some compelling original content in one or both of those places, and that will help us sell some hardware as well.
It's funny that Apple still, I complain about this like once every 6 months, but it's like you got Apple Music and you've got iTunes, and you're trying to figure out how to put original video content into software programs that are called that. But that's just, I don't know why we still have anything called iTunes where you buy movies.
If I may interject, I would say that partially it's because they want you to buy into their ecosystem. And by doing that, you're kind of maybe not compelled, but you would be a lot more open to using their other services, since you would say, hey, you know what? I already have Amazon Prime. The first season of I did this with The Expanse. The first season was free. Watch this. Like, oh, I really want to see how this turns out. So I went out and I spent the $30 for season 2. And so I think the idea is that once they get, kind of crass way of putting it, but once they get their hooks in you, they've basically built themselves a loyal consumer who will now then, you know, if not 100% of the time, at least 60 to 80% of the time, buy within the Apple universe or the Amazon universe or whatever universe. So there you have, you know, an idealized customer, right? One that you can be pretty sure.
Totally. And the question then becomes, all right, if you've got Amazon spending $4.5 billion, you've got Netflix spending $6 billion, and Apple spending $1 billion, starts to look like chump change at that point. Is this something that the networks, that the traditional content producers need to worry about? Should they be locking people in? Should they be doing more what CBS is doing with CBS All Access and saying Star Trek only available on our service? And is that good for us?
I mean, those are two. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, Roger.
Oh, no, I was about to say it kind of depends, right? If for CBS, it's great. For the consumer, I mean, now they're put, again, possibly in the position where, hey, we wanted everything to be a la carte so we can pick and choose. And now we just have to pick and choose between these vertically integrated, services. And we might be paying more than we wanted to. But we really love this show because it's so awesome. And the great thing about content that you produce is that it adds a back catalog, right? Because now, unlike technology, you can resell a 10-year-old show back to someone versus a 10-year-old iPhone.
It's an asset that you can continue to monetize.
You can also, it's a little smoke and mirrors, but you know how the latest version of the Apple TV software would kind of group all of your apps together in this watch area that Apple...
The TV app.
Yeah, which I don't know. I started to hook everything up and I was like, I already know how the apps work. I only open up 3 of them anyway on a regular basis. But I think that that's also a way for a company like Apple and really anybody who makes hardware to kind of keep you from remembering that you're going to the CBS All Access app, right? It's still under some Apple umbrella of content. So there's a psychological shift, I think, going on there, particularly when you're a company that wants to move hardware merchandise, that this all starts to feel like it's related.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Apple's fight with the movie studios over pricing for breaking the window. The studios are ready to break the window, the 90-day window with theaters. It's just a matter of pricing. And the other argument over 4K pricing is because Apple wants you to forget that those movies are coming from anyone but Apple. When you watch Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, they want you to think, oh, I'm watching it on my Apple TV app.
Yep.
And so having that Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston show is just another way to say oh, well, if you want all TV, Netflix, Hulu, everything, without having to worry about where it comes from, you get our device. And that's the new battlefield, isn't it?
Seems to be the case. And I'm interested in this Facebook Watch original content push as well. I actually know somebody who's launching a show on the platform today. I haven't seen it yet, but that's going to be a whole other thing. If Facebook has just a couple of hits where you start associating Facebook with, sure, your timeline and Messenger and people's photos and all sorts of stuff, but also a high quality show that you enjoy, that you go to Facebook to watch, then, that Facebook doesn't lose anybody anytime soon.
Yeah. I watched another one on Facebook this morning from the Me Too network, which is a Hispanic network, a Latino network. And it was a guy with his mom introducing her to movies. And not only was he talking to her about Terminator, but they were reenacting scenes together. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And it was really high level production value. It looked really good.
That's so great. And they were just independent producers before?
No, they're a network.
I see.
And now they're, getting some of that Facebook money.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, that's, ain't mad at you.
No. Hey, thanks to everybody who participates in our subreddit. You can submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. And we have a Facebook group of our own at facebook.com/groups/dailytechnewsshow. Another thing we get to deliver you is Mike Range's monthly tech views. Mike is hilarious, and he writes up a great take on the month's tech news every month that you can find at dailytechnewsshow.com. He is here to tell you a little bit about what to expect as he reviews August.
It's time to see what the monthly tech views has learned from August tech stories. Spoiler alert, surprisingly little. For those of us having trouble wrapping our heads around the concept of Bitcoin being real money, new entrant in the market Bitcoin Cash arrives to put our minds at ease, because having 2 money-related terms in its name makes it, obviously, twice as real. And let's face it, even if you accept it as currency, Bitcoin just doesn't sound like much. It's just a coin, something your computer-savvy grandpa digs out of his pocket so he can dazzle you with the old "what's this in your ear" trick. But Bitcoin Cash? Now you're talking cash, folding money. No, you can't actually fold it because it's still on a computer somewhere and it still isn't real money. But it sounds like it is, and perception is everything when it comes to marketing. But even Bitcoin Cash's relevance is doomed to be short-lived, inevitably eclipsed by Bitcoin Cash fat stacks. Get more of the monthly tech views this weekend at dailytechnewsshow.com.
I'm definitely going to get on the ICO for Bitcoin fat stacks. Thank you, Mike Range, dailytechnewsshow.com. Quick message coming to us. Thanks again for the shows. It's much appreciated. Just a comment about 3107. As someone in their mid-40s who's in fairly good shape, I have to wonder what this fitness tracker craze is even about. If you just want to be in good shape, you just have to have a good diet and exercise moderately 3 times a week. It is much better to have interval training than something like running or biking because it helps your metabolism. I can see if you are an extreme athlete or have a medical need, but for most people, just doing the basics seems to be enough. Does a fitness tracker really get you there better? I'm skeptical.
Well, okay. First of all, congratulations for being in pretty good shape. Sounds like you eat well and you exercise well. But I think a fitness tracker isn't going to somehow make you a better interval trainer. But I think that there are sort of fun little milestones that you can play with yourself. I know I do that. I happen to love the stationary bike. It's like I'll, get to a certain calorie count, or I'll get to a certain, I've pedaled however many miles, and I play a little game. So having a fitness tracker seems like just another layer to sort of have fun with stats. I think that's why a lot of people like it, not because they've really changed their workout regimen much.
It's a motivational thing. It says, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be able to get myself to do this thing. Now, Alan, our emailer here, apparently doesn't have that problem, which is great. And not everybody does. But if you do, this might be the thing that gets you off your butt to do those 3 times a week exercises. The thing to keep in mind, though, is that there have been at least one study that found that people using fitness trackers gained weight. And again, fitness and exercise are not necessarily the same as gaining or losing weight, but it was because when people wore fitness trackers, they felt healthier and therefore let themselves have more snacks because, hey, I'm fit, I'm working out, I've got the stats to prove it. So that's something to watch out for.
It's definitely true that when I have a great workout week, I eat more ice cream.
Yeah. No,
it's just the way it goes in my household.
It's one of the
reasons.
I don't
even work out and I just eat ice cream.
Or that, it's like, why just go straight to the joy, Roger?
Yeah.
I've got a step removed.
It's one of the reasons that exercise isn't necessarily correlated directly with weight loss. It's just part of being healthier. It's good for your heart and all kinds of other reasons. Len Peralta, thank you for being with us today and illustrating as always. What have you got in your illustration pocket today?
Oh, well, I'm pretty excited to hear what Apple Studios has to offer. I know none of their original content has been announced, although that Jennifer Aniston Reese Witherspoon thing sounds pretty interesting, and this is what I think it may be. Apple is holding back some big announcements, which of course is adding you and Sarah and Roger and I to a show called the Apple Dumping Gang. which is not a reboot.
Is that Tom Merritt or Grumpy Cat?
You know what? It's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's not a reboot of Apple Dumpling Gang, but I guess you'll have to work it out. Who's Tim Conway? Who is Don Knotts and all that good stuff?
So hungry.
That is fantastic. This is the best movie poster I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Hopefully that'll work out for you guys. So,
well, go check it out, lenperaltastore.com. And in a moment, I'll tell you a way that you might be able to get it for free someday. So stick around for that. Thank you, Sarah Lane, for joining us. What do you got to tell folks about?
Well, as I mentioned at the start of the show, for anybody who jumped in later, I'm in the process of putting together a home studio that is more complicated than anything I've tried before. And it's a work in progress, but I have just off camera lots of boxes and various cables. Some of them
never know
are marked, some of them are not. So it's going to be a really fun Labor Day weekend here.
Laboring away on your new studio.
It is a really fun project, though. So I'm thrilled to be doing it.
Well, that's good to know because we have some new things to announce for the DTNS Patreon as well. Thanks to everybody who gives us a little value back already at patreon.com/DTNS. Thanks to you, we are able to expand what we want to do, but we need your help to get there. So we're starting a new Patreon push. We haven't done this in literally years. If we can reach $20,000 a month on Patreon, we can add the following: a monthly roundtable show on the last Friday, the final Friday of every month. I know a bunch of you in our survey said roundtable show. That's what I want. So it will be expanded. It'll be longer than a normal DTNS. We'd have more people on it. We'll have a regular crew, but also rotating guest spots. And we'll talk more about the tech topics. And you'll even have a way to have an effect on what we talk about. We're also going to rev up something that I alluded to earlier in the show called DTNS Labs, which is a chance for our co-hosts to try out shows. So the way I did Daily Tech Headlines, I just started trying it out and it kind of caught on, and now it's a regular part of the staple. Scott Johnson would like to do a show about the tech he uses for his art. Veronica has talked about maybe doing some kind of bot briefing or something like that. Patrick's got ideas as well. So we want to create DTNS Labs where we can try out stuff and just put it in the feed. Patrons will get it first. It'll go in the rest of the feed for everybody else. And if something catches on, we may be able to spin it out as its own show. And to help motivate these things, we're creating a new tier called the advisor level, which gets you a couple of ways to help make the show, including picking topics for that roundtable show, joining video hangouts that we're going to be doing as part of the DTNS Labs, and you get a free digital piece of art from Len Peralta every month. Len's going to pick one of his favorites from the back catalog, and we'll deliver it to you through Patreon. Thank you, Len, for being willing to do that. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to, these sound really exciting, and just if you're not jumping on board with this, I don't know what it's going to take.
So if you're already backing us, thank you, and take a look at our rewards, see if there's anything that might entice you up to that level. And if you're not backing us, now's the time to help get us to that next level, because the other thing we want to do is bring Sarah Lane onto the show every day.
Yay!
Allison Sheridan popped in to welcome you, Sarah.
That was the din of applause. Got it. I was like, did someone just sigh heavily?
No, that's the audience.
I hope this works. This looks great.
Yeah, me too. Tom and I have kind of kicked around the idea of how could we make something like this work. We used to do TNT together, and it was always really fun. And Daily Tech News is something that every time I dip out of it, I always really miss it. And I like the team that's in place here so much already. And I would love to be part of the team full time. So everything that Tom described is in addition to me joining the show. So unless you don't like me very much, hopefully that it seems like a really good reason to maybe bump up to advisor level or start contributing.
Hey, so you were kidding about that TV then? You don't think he should get that display instead?
Oh no, my goodness. No. I think, come on, it's an 8K TV versus a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, exactly. No, I absolutely am over the moon that Sarah is able to do this. So I just need your help to make it happen. We're going to keep Roger on as our producer. We're going to keep all of our co-hosts on, helping out the show. All we want to do is be able to add Sarah into the mix, and of course do the monthly roundtable and DTNS Labs. So once again, if you can help us make that happen, if you've been on the fence about contributing to the show, if you're looking at it and you're like, I guess maybe I could do $5 a month, we've got great rewards. You get an exclusive weekly column. We have a special roundtable show right now that we'll keep around as a new thing, a new 30-minute monthly special that'll be a bonus just for the co-executive producers. We'll have business cards and all that sort of thing. So patreon.com/DTNS. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, everybody, and especially Tom for potentially making this happen. And like I mentioned, I've kind of got this studio to play with. So when you mentioned DTNS Labs, I know we didn't talk about any additional content that I might be able to do from here, but if the audience wants it, if enough people are interested in something that we don't do yet that you'd like to see, I am all ears, because we're kind of a clean, blank slate right now.
So here's the thing. If we get to $20,000 by October 1st, done deal. If we don't hit 20,000 by October 1st, it's not off. We'll reassess and we'll talk to you then. So wait, let's just get it done by October 1st. All right. Hey, thanks to everyone who is supporting the show. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We're live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 2030 UTC at alphageekradio.com, at diamondclub.tv, and our website is dailytechnewsshow.com. No show on Monday. We're off for the American Labor Day, but we'll see you Tuesday with Patrick Beja and Rob Reed to talk about quantum computing. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Woo!
Yay!
So I don't have to give back my DTNS shirt then?
No, hell no.
Okay. Okay. Well, I would. I thought maybe it was my last time,
Yeah, no, not at all.
Get shirts.
Sarah, I couldn't be more excited. I really hope this works. This is so cool.
Me too. And it's obviously it's a big milestone and I just feel optimistic about it. It's certainly something that I want to do, and it would hopefully just be a great way for the family that I've had with me for so long just kind of stays together, to the chagrin of Roger Chang, I'm sure. But hey,
What? Why would it be chagrin?
nah, I'm just kidding. Roger and I go all the way back to college, so
Yes.
Oh, you
We
do?
took our first desktop editing class together.
it's true.
Oh my God, I didn't realize it went. I knew it went back to college. I didn't realize that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was desktop video. It was like the first year in our major that,
Yeah.
or while we were there, they created a class called desktop video, and we all kind of were trying to figure out fades and fades.
CJ
crazy.
Grant. I still remember our instructor. She was
that's right.
She was
good. Good teacher.
She was a great teacher. She was actually also part of the group that gave us Strays, the horror movie where the stray cats attack everyone in that cabin in the woods.
Jeez. I don't know that movie.
Right
She
before
also
you said that,
apologizes
Roger,
for having that movie made.
right before you said that, Sarah's cat walked by, but then disappeared, but then showed up just in the mirror.
I
That gave me
swear
the
she
heebie-jeebies.
can speak English. She doesn't, or she can understand English. She doesn't speak it very well, but she does. It's like she just knows when I wake up, even if I haven't moved, so that then she starts howling at me for breakfast. This is 5:36 a.m. It's great time for a cat to be yelling in your face.
Of course.
She's just animals. They've got a sixth sense.
Okay, well, I just wanted to jump and say congratulations in advance, and I sure hope this works, but I got to run off and do another show.
All right. Have a good show, Allison. Thanks again.
Yeah, Allison.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm thinking we can go through the suggestions at showbot.tv, but I'm thinking pay with a smile.
Yes, I am good with that.
Pay with a smile.
There's 8K is looking pretty sharp. We also have can I pay with a wink and a smile? That's the one Tom loves his palm. Who doesn't really? Who doesn't love their palm? It's true. And
Oh, Roger.
Facebook.
I can't tell if you realize what you're saying or not right now.
Circus cats included. No hats. War on bezels. Bezel nostalgia moment. Impending bezel nostalgia. Palm on Pan Am. And H hate cares gonna hate K. Oh, I see.
Haters gonna yeah.
Pays a smile. Register your face. Demolition Man come true. That's going to cost you $1 million smile. Federici jumps the queue. A new lane for DTNS.
A new lane. Get it.
I get it.
Hats
Get
aflame.
Or
Windows
maybe
update
Sarah Way, you could back us.
Ooh. That's both dad jokey, but also supremely
Very punny. Very punny.
Well, that's all dad
That will
jokes.
not be
Do we have we updated the Patreon video or no?
No, I need to do that right now.
Because once we do, then I can, I will start sharing that.
Let me do that. Well, okay. What are we gonna title this?
Did you want to say, can I pay with a wink and a smile? Is that what you...
Pay with a wink and a smile? Or how about just pay with a smile?
Sure.
Can I pay with a smile?
I'd gladly
you
pay
can.
you Tuesday.
Right.
Although AK is looking pretty sharp. That's a big screen. I don't see how you're going to use that on the desk unless you plan on building like a operations center. Stick it on the wall.
What, the 8K one?
Yeah. Like a 30-inch monitor is kind of big for a desk.
That's not a desktop monitor.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon Morse.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Your noise canceling doesn't work because I hear myself.
Oh, boy.
Where are you?
I'm in my car. I'm running errands today. Oil
Nice.
change,
Oh,
picking up
for
cat food.
thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Congratulations on the whole Patreon thing as well.
Don't congratulate us yet. We need to get there.
Oh, wait.
No. It's we made the announcement. I just mean we haven't hit the 20,000 yet.
Yeah. Okay,
Hi,
you already announced it. I was like, did I break the news?
No. Sorry.
Okay, good.
So congratulations on the announcement.
Yes.
Good luck on the Patreon.
Yeah. So I'm trying to publish the show and change the video. I hope that Patreon can figure out team member accounts soon.
Yes. That
Right?
would be handy.
That would be very handy.
Let's see.
I can make the YouTube video public. That's easy. So what else is going on, Shannon?
Not much. That's about it.
Is it hot over there? Is it like triple digits
yes.
hot?
Yes, it is very hot. Like I am sweating my armpits off right now.
That's quite an image.
It's horrible. It's so bad. Like I moved away from the Midwest just for this reason because it used to get so hot and humid out there. And now today I was just like, nope, I'm moving back to the Midwest. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
actually,
terrible.
it's the one thing that kind of makes you want to go out and run out and buy in a little one of those portable AC units, right? Because most places in the Bay Area do not have air conditioning because it doesn't get that hot most of the year.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, my place doesn't have AC, so usually in the summertime, if it's this bad, we'll just turn on a slew of fans across the household, and we deal with it. We open the fridge or something, and it's good enough. But that's pretty much all we can do.
All right, the Patreon video is now up.
Woohoo!
Sweet.
Yay!
Echo.
Oh. Hey,
Shannon.
I know it's my fault.
No, it's okay. It's enough of a delay that you could just stop and hear yourself. You're like,
I wonder
okay,
if I
I
could,
definitely said that.
Oh, Roger from the future. Yeah, okay. No echo.
I think if I mute it, you guys can't hear it, so I can just unmute myself whenever I want to talk.
That's not convenient.
It's like a CB radio. You
But it
really
doesn't
are
work
from the
that
Midwest.
Breaker 19. 10-4. What's your 10-20?
There's a smoky.
There's a bear in the air. All right. So, Sarah, the video, you should confirm that you can see the video, but it should be.
Let's see. I just loaded it up. Oh, that's us, all right.
Oh, I remember those faces.
I love that. What a great still of us. Tom's kind of.
It kind of looks like you guys are trying to do a karaoke duet.
It's. I mean, it felt like that kind of at the time. It's funny how Tom's setup it's so perfect for one person, but you really got to shove the second person in that shot. So
I changed to a different still. I don't know how long it'll take to refresh.
Okay.
I picked that still because you looked good in that still.
You should put like a karaoke line at the bottom there.
We may need to ask Roger to create a still.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because in the second one that you loaded, I just sort of am mid word.
Yeah, and I'm looking at you.
So it's just kind of, I mean, honestly, it's whatever everybody likes is.
Yeah, Roger, can you capture a better picture of us?
Yes, I can do that.
And then upload that as the custom thumbnail. That'd be great. You can just do that in YouTube and it'll happen everywhere.
Well,
Okay,
I got through an entire episode of DTNS using a Windows 10 laptop.
Oh yeah. So okay, we had a little driver issue right at the beginning, but otherwise, once you got going, how was it?
Well, it's it's funny. It's like for many years, I never was a Mac user. I really wasn't until I left G4. I didn't particularly like the idea of having a Mac because I don't know, I was part of the Windows side of the war.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's like, it's not like I'm using this and thinking, what are my hotkeys? It's like, it's all sort of muscle memory. But,
Sure.
This particular laptop is, I'm still sort of right clicking on a separate button, and it just is. I've gotten so used to my MacBook Pro way of life, and for several years now, that's the only computer I've had. So now I've got sort of this Windows machine. I got a monitor up here.
Things
I feel
are
like it
different
looks
places.
pretty good, but I need to just need to get faster on the keys.
Yeah, the hotkeys are the thing too.
Yeah.
Especially, I use one keyboard for both, and so I'm always, when I'm using OS 10 or Mac OS on this keyboard, I'm always like, all right, the Windows key is the Apple key. Remember that. I'm used to it now, but it took me a while to get used to that.
Yeah, where is there is one key on this little guy that I don't understand. It looks like a gear.
That's
It's a control key, function key, gear key, and then alt over on the bottom left.
It's not the Windows key? Oh, wait.
Well, I guess it is the window. Why does it look like that?
They
Why
just
isn't it
changed the icon so that it would not be neutral in case you plugged it into Mac OS, I guess. I don't know.
Huh. All right. Well, there you have it. That's actually very convenient. I'm going to use it all the time.
Windows D. That was my first big tip on the screensavers, was Windows D.
I don't even remember what Windows D does.
Shows you the desktop. So it basically takes all the windows and it doesn't minimize them technically. It just brings the desktop forward.
Got it. Yeah, I still use hot corners in OS 10. And in fact, I was fighting with a friend about this the other day, and he was like, what? Like, nobody uses those. What, are you crazy? And it's like, no, it's a workflow that works for me. That's how I get to my desktop as quickly as possible. Or when I want to see all windows, it's like, if you take hot corners away from me, my life is over.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was like, is that too dramatic? No, just dramatic enough.
I rue the next Mac OS announcement that deprecates that.
They better not. They better not. And now it's fine. I'll work it out.
Party, Apple.
Oh, totally. Yeah. There'll be some third party app. T2 says the new Patreon video is full of great pause screens and then has an imager link that I'm afraid to click. Oh, that's actually not that bad. Here. That's kind of cute. Sure. Here. Aww. Look. Hi.
You're
That's my
singing.
favorite.
It looks like you are singing karaoke.
It really does.
That's a good one. Tom is sort of like, I think I want to do this. Oh, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Help me. Ayúdame. Por favor.
Stay classy, world.
Someone, PSL2C asked if the announcement was if I was going to be on DTNS every day.
Yes, Len. We're going to make
I
Len
think
draw.
Len should be on DTNS every single day.
I know.
That'd be crazy.
You would be drawing so much.
That's all right. I draw every day anyway, so.
Well, there's lots of nice feedback in my Twitter replies so far. So thank you to everybody who's
Chat room had good reaction too.
Good.
And I'm updating the description of the.
Are you waiting for anybody else to call in?
No, it's just you and Allison. Everybody else is like traveling or headed off for the weekend and stuff.
Dragon
Con.
Yep.
Dragon. Always with Dragon Con.
Dragon Con, man. I totally wish I was at Dragon Con though, but unfortunately I couldn't go this year.
Roger said it was hot there too.
Yeah, anything over 75 is considered hot by me.
Actually, very nice here today.
And the humidity, and is the South all that humid? Because I figured you need to be closer. No, wait, there is a major body of water near Atlanta, isn't there? Or no, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
it was just very humid.
Lake Erie. It's very nice here. It's in the mid-60s today. I'm going to the Greek festival, and I'm going to wear a hoodie. It's nice.
You gonna get Slovakia euros?
Kudos tonight, man. Whew. I can do that because, see, I work out. I wear the Fitbit, and I can eat whatever I want to eat.
Waffles? Oh, I want a falafel now. I need to eat. I don't ever eat. It's because it's
Come
hot.
up for the Greek festival, Ryder. It's going to 11 o'clock tonight. It's until Monday. Just
come for the Greek festival. Stay for my spaghetti dinner.
Yes. Oh, no, we don't do the spaghetti dinner anymore.
Oh, wait, what?
What
You don't?
Yeah. No, because I don't have to make.
No spaghetti.
I know I have to make. I don't have to make dinner on Fridays anymore. So, and Nora hates spaghetti, so she doesn't make it.
Doesn't like spaghetti.
She doesn't like spaghetti.
Robert Bowles is emphatically in favor of Sarah joining the show.
Yay! Thanks, Rob.
This is exciting.
Sarah, how have you been? I haven't seen you in like a few days.
I know.
It's been a long time.
I've been good. I am trying not to melt down here in LA. It's been so miserable. I know Roger's side of town is worse or hotter anyway. So, trying to keep cool, but it's been really very summery. The last couple of days, I had lunch with Heather Frank yesterday. She's doing a bunch of cool new projects, and just kind of talking to her about fun ideas that she has. Producers bouncing ideas off of each other, and yeah, I've got this studio that I need to set up, and I have a lot of work to do. In fact, Jeff Zimmerlin, who I used to be an intern at Revision 3. And has since gone on to start a software company called Rundown Creator, and has been doing it for a long time. He's been gracious enough to offer to come over and help me put this stuff in order. And he's sort of a studio whiz. So I'm going to get as far as I can and then figure out what I'm missing and then have him come save me. And it starts with that stupid mixer that I probably have to just send back.
I don't even know how to use mixers. Like the only one I understand is TriCaster. I think that's the name of it. But the black magic that we have at Hack 5, I don't even understand the thing. I just know where the buttons are that I'm supposed to press. But if anything gets out of whack, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's a black magic video mixer that I'm going to be adding to my little repertoire, at some point. That guy seems pretty straightforward as long as it's, hooked up correctly. It's my audio mixer that I just had a little trouble with the show today, and I just should have started troubleshooting earlier. I just didn't get any of this stuff till this morning. So you know how it is. These projects always end up being slightly more complicated than you hope, but then you learn a lot too.
And then when you get there, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
I've been looking into, I want to develop out the Hack 5 studio so that we have better audio and better lighting, because right now it's a little dark, and we have issues with the way that it was set up by the previous person that was there who worked the studio. But now that I'm in charge, I'm just like, I don't know where to start, but I know that we have a lot of issues and I really want to fix them. I'm just like, where do I look for all that information? So it's tough if you've never been trained on studio engineering or studio management, and I'm just trying to figure out everything on my own.
Yeah, well, it really. Yeah. I also working in video, as we all are familiar with for so many years. Audio is really important. When audio isn't good, but it's like it's like a whole other language. Even if you I worked in newsrooms, it's been a lot of YouTube tutorials. I usually find what I'm looking for eventually. So somebody out there has asked the same question. That's sort of the nice thing about it. Like you just have to find that question and then the person who answered it correctly.
I mean, people will forgive bad video sooner than they will forgive bad audio because you really key on audio.
Yeah.
And I would say if you want to just start with working on the audio. So acoustics, like if there's, kind of echoing or reverberation off different pieces or anything off the walls.
We have all the problems in the world. We have acoustical issues like the echo, which we have the things to fix it. I just need to put them all up.
The foam. Yeah, the foam's really helpful.
The foam things. And then we have a stereo issue where like sometimes it's louder on the left side than the right side. And I know how to fix it in post, but we need to fix it before it gets to post because sometimes I forget.
So it records with one audio channel being louder than another. That's probably a mixer issue that you need to recalibrate. Typically with a mixer, you just want to set everything down. Yeah. The one thing I think Sarah remembers this from college when you take audio production, they kind of really, in the labs, they really drill into you how to like manage a mixer. And so you want to just kind of put everything back at neutral where you started. And then you set your main and you set that at there's a level demarcated where basically it should be like where it's at unity. You leave that there, never touch it again. So you leave it there, and then you adjust the rest of the audio per channel depending on whoever's talking. I thought Darren picked up compressors for the audio. I don't know, but for a lot of
he does have compressors.
That requires some calibration too, depending on who's talking. Although, I mean, we had an audio engineer come in for revision 3. He was one of the old audio engineers. He's the one that used to record the ZDTV radio show. Remember him, Tom?
Dave Randolph?
No, not Randolph. The guy who did the pancake breakfast things at Tech TV.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah. I'm blanking on his name too. I feel so bad.
He's the guy we had.
He was awesome.
You know who would know is
I don't remember any pancake breakfasts.
No, you had to be doing recording the radio stuff for ZDTV radio or Tech TV radio. You don't remember him?
Dave. It was Dave though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Dave, not Randolph. You know who would know is guy looks
picture him. I can hear his voice.
Who's the guy in charge of the studio at Revision 3?
Not
Dave Randolph.
Josh Viegas.
Ask Josh Viegas because he's the guy who called them to bring him in. But he set up the compressors for us.
Right, yeah.
And that's really important.
Maybe I should call that guy just so I don't have to deal with it.
I mean, audio is a very tricky thing, and it really depends not only on the environment, but depends on who's in it. Like, with Patrick, he's kind of very loud, so it's one of those things. He'll probably able to just eyeball everything initially and say like, this is what I see initially, and then he'll basically have a list of questions about what you're hearing that you want to remedy, and they'll just go through there. He'll like look at the mixer and all that. But yeah, hit up Josh Vegas because I think he remembers the contact info on the guy's name, and I wish I remembered, but I'm really bad with names and faces. Actually, no, I'm good with faces. I just not the names.
Can you guys hear
the bus?
Absolute mayhem outside my apartment building right now?
That's hilarious. What is that?
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Was that a bus or like?
Well, I was hoping that you'd say no, can't hear a thing in case this happens during the show.
It sounds like a garbage truck.
It is. It is a garbage truck, even though garbage day is on Monday. And I know that because garbage day starts at 7 a.m. on Monday mornings.
Oh, lovely.
And there's a garbage truck that goes down one street, but there's a different garbage truck that goes down the alley streets. So once it starts, it's not just like, oh, now the garbage truck is gone for the week. It's going to be there for a while, coming and going. I also have a neighbor who is big, beautiful house. And then there's sort of an empty lot that's obviously theirs that has just been sort of sitting idle the whole time I've lived here. And apparently they're building a gazebo of some kind. That's what the city document said. Okay, fine. But this has included a lot of what seems like unnecessary construction work. For example, this morning, there was a huge crane, a 50-foot crane, moving a palm tree from which was rooted in the ground 5 feet, and then putting it back in and recovering it with it's fascinating.
You got some bougie
really
neighbors. I mean,
it's like a Winchester Mystery House situation going on there, where every day I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
So, folks, if you want to keep up on the mystery situation, you have to back the Patreon so Sarah can come on and update us.
Right, yeah. Do you want to know how the story ends? Well, you know where to go. Yeah.
By the way, we're already, and I knew this would happen, we're already getting people like, what level can we add IAS?
Well, that's
yes,
a conversation to have, I suppose.
Let's just get Sarah first. Then we can see about outbidding CNET.
I vote we get everybody.
Yay!
Get all the bodies. 2 million a month. Awesome. We're building our new orbital platform to host the show on.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like this idea of that you mentioned, Sarah, too, of doing new stuff out of your studio. Because part of the reason this is working out is that Sarah's in a position where she's got some freelance stuff, but she needs something, a little bit bigger and stable to fill the gaps, which is how I operate. This is how I've described it, is like I have DTNS, which pays the bills, and then I do other things like Tech Republic and my books and everything that kind of, round out my life. So this will help Sarah be able to do that as well, and that means she can do some cool new things for DTNS because we have more brains involved.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm my whole idea. It's because I want to emulate Tom in all walks of life. But it's like it really my for a long time, sort of a dream of mine that I felt a little out of my reach was to work for myself. Not necessarily work from home, but here we are. I've got a little bit of extra space that, isn't actually my bedroom, that I've kind of committed to putting something together that feels like, as professional as I am able to do, and to start cranking out some stuff. DTNS Labs in particular is great because there's not a ton of pressure if people kind of go, it's not, maybe we're not as interested in that. It's like, okay, well, we can put our minds together and come up with something that the audience does want, because we're here for the audience.
I like the idea of doing a mailbag. That could be one.
Totally.
Just checking on emails. That could be something where we get the advisor level folks involved, maybe.
Absolutely.
And now I notified everybody who was already backing at the $30 level or above, because there were a few, and said, hey, we've got this new level, folks. So, make sure to change your reward, because it won't automatically do it. But you already qualify, so you might as well do that. So it kind of spiked the results, but I'm going to check right now to see exactly. The last time I looked, we had 8 people at the advisor level, and we now have 10.
Yay!
10 advisors.
Yay.
And we're at 14,823.
That's great.
So there you go. Just about 5,000 plus to go.
It's able to do it.
Does that mean you're going to just pledge 5,000?
I was thinking about it. I think it should happen. This should happen. It really should. And it should happen by the end of the weekend. So let's do it.
Really? You think it'll happen by the end of the weekend?
No,
wow.
I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic about
That's great. I think Glenn is going to donate
that would be incredible.
Well, here's the thing, is that it's like a great combination. I think it's a good addition. All the new things. I think it's exciting, and I don't know. Just be optimistic about things. That's what I say.
Oh, right. Today is the final update of the summer movie draft. Thank you, T2T2. This means that I won officially. That's the only reason I'm excited. BioCow just winked and said 11 advisors. Thank you, BioCow. Yeah, so it's all over Team DTNS. You get to bask in this, Sarah. Team DTNS won the summer movie draft.
Yay! I missed the movie draft. It's been a few cycles of summer and winter movies that I think I couldn't do it a couple times. Then you guys just moved on with your lives, stopped asking me. But next time.
People often assume there's organization behind our invitations.
Totally, yeah. Hey, we're all just trying to get through the day half the time. But for the next draft, which I guess, when does the winter movie draft kick off?
It should kick off by the end of September. Yeah, so the next couple of weeks.
If there's a slot, I'm in.
All right. Well, we're doing it a little different in the winter. Brushwood and I are teaming up. We're mixing up teams. So I'll hit up Bryce to make sure that you get considered for one of the teams. Otherwise, I'd just say jump in on Team DTNS, which is probably what we'll have in the summer movie draft again.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, if you got a plan already, no bagger. Serena Williams had a baby.
Aw, congratulations, Serena.
Yeah, and Alexis, who's her husband, and has been at least on when Amber and I were doing the social hour back on Twit. Pardon me. Alexis would join us fairly frequently. He was always such a great guest.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
I'm going to go start my weekend, guys. Good luck on the.
Thanks, Len.
Good luck on the Patreon. Congratulations. We'll see
Have
hopefully,
good falafel.
I will. Hopefully, when I check back on the Patreon, it'll be all taken care of, and it'll all come into place. So, here's the thing: what I notice is that, and maybe you notice this too, Tom, is that after the show goes live, there's a lot more activity. So yeah. So for sure, we'll see what happens in the next few hours. It should be interesting. So
very cool. Well, have a good weekend, Len. Thanks, man.
All right, take care. We'll see you. Bye.
See you, Len.
And I think we're gonna close it down now as well. Thank you, Shannon, for dropping in.
Yeah, thank you so much. And sorry my audio totally stinks in this car, but I will mention I got my IFB in and I got to use it for an episode with Jonathan Strickland of Tech Stuff. And it totally works, and I'm so excited to use it for the next DTNS. I can't wait.
Oh, yay. That's fantastic. That's great.
So, yeah, thank you again. And I'm going to go finish running my errands. I think next up is Target.
Thanks, Shannon.
Bye,
have a good weekend.
Bye.
All right. So, folks, just one last moment before we stop the broadcast. This is the team we want right here.
Yay.
With all of our co-hosts and everything as well. So if you can help us out, patreon.com/DTNS. If you can afford a few extra bucks, if you're already backing us, great. If you can't afford, we totally understand. Just spread the word. Get out there and tell folks to help pick you up.
Tell friends, family, coworkers, the guy who bags your groceries. Trust me, there are more people out there who love this information than you think.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.